Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I am so glad to see all of you here. Thank you for coming by and keeping me company as I do these. Let's see, we're going to start with messages for each sign. Whoops. Forgot to hit mute again. I have to leave that open so I can see my chat. All right, so we're going to do messages for each sign for tomorrow. Tomorrow is already the 9th. Holy Toledo. November 9th, Thursday, for each sign. After that, we'll do 5 minutes of Reiki, and then I'll take questions for a few more minutes until I've been here for 30. Okay, so Aries, 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 coming in for you on the 9th, on Thursday. What do we have coming up for you? High power day. I feel like you guys are going full force. You have a whole bunch of stuff going on and you are attacking it. I think you're feeling very happy. I'm also feeling like you are still taking the time to do things for yourself, pampering yourself, doing the exercise that you love to do, eating the foods that you love to eat, whether they're necessarily healthy or not. But I do think you're taking time to pamper yourself. My hair's driving me crazy, guys. I'm so sorry. That's the thing about seeing yourself on camera. It's like, what? Okay, that's a little better. All right, let's look at Taurus. Lamille McMillan. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today, sweetheart? She called me love bug. Okay, Taurus. Thursday, the 9th. What do we have going on here for you guys? I think you guys might have got the same thing yesterday, plowing forward, plowing ahead, or over the weekend. But I feel like you guys have some plans. You're working on them. You're just still diligently working on them. Good for you, Taurus, plowing ahead. Seems like you have one particular project that's pretty big that you just keep moving forward with. I feel like for some of you, we're talking about 2 or 3 projects over the past several days. But for a lot of you, this is the same project that you're just diligently working on and making headway with. Oh, yay. Very cool. Waiting on tables can be fun. All the people interaction there can be awesome. Thank you on the looking fine. Good morning, Candace. Glad to see you. You are? Oh, I did not know that. Oops. So sorry, Lemuel. I've never heard that first name, so I didn't know. I just thought, Anyway, now that I've totally put my foot in it, let me go ahead and move on to Gemini, November, Thursday, the 9th. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. I feel like you guys are working on something that feels very sturdy, or that you want to feel very sturdy and secure for you. The picture that I'm getting, excuse me while I wet my throat. The picture that I'm getting whenever I think about you Geminis is those old-fashioned stools, a milking stool like you would sit on to milk a cow. And yes, I grew up in the country. And the really good milking stools, according to the people who knew, were the 3-legged milking stools. And that's what I'm seeing. And I can remember I had a little old neighbor. I thought she was old. I was 6 or 7 years old. So I don't know, maybe she was in her 40s. I think she was older than that. But anyway, I had a little old neighbor once that I used to go down and would hang out with her sometimes. We would buy milk and eggs from her. And so if she was still milking, I would just hang around while she milked the cows. And we were talking about milk stools one day, and she said the 3-legged milk stools are the most sturdy. If you have a 3-legged milk stool, you're never going to fall off of that stool. It'll never tip over. Now, I guess she had been around long enough to know. I wouldn't really know. But that's what I'm seeing whenever I'm looking at you, Gemini. I'm seeing this 3-legged milk stool, and I'm thinking about what Mrs. Hammett, who is not alive today, told me when I was a little girl. So I'm seeing that you are working on creating something that is sturdy and stable, and that hopefully won't fall over for you, whether that's financial or whether that's in your relationships or one of your relationships, whether that's in your career, whether that's even in your health, that you're doing things to make your health more stable and sturdy. Either way, something that you're working on today to bring in that stability and sturdiness. Let's see. Okay. All right, Cancer for Thursday, the 9th. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. When you have to kind of flip your calendar around to look at it at different distances from your eyes, that's when you start to realize I'm not as young as I used to be. Let me put my phone on mute. I forgot to do that. Okay, so Cancer's Thursday. What do we have coming up here? I'm hearing that you're eating the milk of the land. Now, how you eat milk, I don't know. Maybe you're all about the cheese or the curds or the whey. I don't know. Uh, Spirit will do that every once in a while. Give you these strange messages. You're like, what? So anyway, Cancers. To me, milk of the land, that like I associate milk of the land with like milk and honey, how God promised the Jewish nation that they would live in a land of milk and honey. And that meant that that was a land of plenty. It was a land of prosperity. It was a land where they had everything that they needed to maintain their health. So eating of the milk of the land, whenever I hear that, even though it sounds a little odd to me, the immediate thing that comes into my mind is that you are reaping the rewards of something, of where you are, or the rewards of something that you have done. You are reaping some rewards today, and not just like getting a paycheck, reaping the rewards, but something kind of luxurious, really enjoying those rewards. Dee Dee, good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to see you here, my dear. Leos, let's look at you for Thursday, the 9th of November. Okay, so when I think about Leos, I think about leaping Libras. Don't ask me why. You would think that would be leaping zebras, but that's not what came into my head. So, Leos, I think that you are going to be doing something with great enthusiasm today. There may even be some kind of competition with Libras for you happening today. In fact, that's what I'm expecting, some kind of competition with a Libra person or somebody who has a Libra type personality. And I feel this feels really like a lot of fun to me. This is very high energy. I don't feel like this is the kind of competition where somebody gets hurt. This is not like sibling rivalry or something like that. This is some kind of fun, just teasing and joking around with each other, leaping Libra's day for you, Leos. You're a Cancer with a Leo rising and a Scorpio moon. Well, we've got two of yours out. Let's get on with the rest of them. Let's see. Glad you're here, by the way, Candace. Not sure if I said that earlier. Virgos for Thursday the 9th. Virgos, Virgos. Guys, be thinking about what questions you want to ask later on, too. Yesterday, everybody was so quiet. I was like, wow, nobody has questions. Fatima, Layla, hello, hello. Glad to see you in the room. How are you? Virgos for Thursday. Virgos, I think there's something where you're completing a cycle with something on Thursday. What I saw was like somebody was just drawing this circle in the air and filling it in with sunlight. So whatever cycle it is that you're completing, I think that this is something that is good, that it adds to your life. So this could be like graduating from some kind of course, or maybe you are moving into a new area. Maybe you are ending one job and getting ready to start the next job, because, and I'm saying ending and starting because the circle was completed and then it was filled in with light. So this is telling me that, okay, the cycle is complete and it's a very positive thing. The moving forward with it is very positive. So whatever that cycle brought into your life, whether it was new education, whether it was a new relationship, a new home, whatever it is that it's bringing in new, is very positive and good and happiness making and productive making. So you've ended one cycle and you are beginning the next one, and you are off to a wonderful, I'm hearing you're off to even a glamorous start. Um, and I feel like whatever the cycle is that you just ended has really brought in that next phase or that next cycle. It's what makes this next cycle such a good one, such a much higher step up for you. Okay, so very cool message. I'm not sure how that applies. Be interesting to see what you guys say in the comments on that one. Libras being leapt by the Virgos, or by the Leos, excuse me. Let's see what else we can find about Libras today. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're here today, my dear. Dee Dee said she had to watch my video after the fact yesterday. Okay, so Libras, what do we have for you guys on Thursday the 9th? Leos and Libras, I don't know what you're up to, but I heard leaping Libras. So the Leos are leaping with the Libras, and the Libras are leaping. Maybe you guys are initiating the contest or the competition between the Leos. If you guys missed the Leo prediction, you may want to go back to that just to kind of fill in the blanks here. But Libras, this is, once again, this is a competition that feels fun to me. Oh, excuse me. I let my throat get a little too dry. Sorry, guys. So, Libras, I think you're initiating some kind of competition with other people. I think that this is a happy thing. This is a fun thing. This is leaping. This is like jumping up and down. You know how people do that sometimes when they're happy, they jump up and down and they clap at the same time. And sometimes they cry too. So leaping Libras, I see you doing something that's really happy, that makes you really happy anyway, and it may be some kind of competition that you initiate. I think that this competition may go between you and some Libras, but also I don't feel like it's limited to just you and Libras. Anyway, seems like fun. Going to be interesting to see what that's all about. Those of you who are here right now, none of your comments will show up later, but those of you who come in later, I would love to see your comments about the Leap in Leos and the Leap in Libras today. Your rental property is moving forward. That's good, good, good. Oh, gotcha on the Cancer thing. Good morning, Marcy. Let's see, let's see. Oh, I had to catch up on some of my messages. I was behind. All right, let's look at Scorpio for Thursday on the 9th. Fellow Scorpios, so here's what I'm getting for us. I think we're going to be doing some expanding, some growing, some learning on the 9th. I'm seeing these like spirals being drawn. To me, that does talk about expansion, that talks about growth, that talks about having new experiences, understanding new things, new enlightenments. So our horizons are broadening in some way or another. So we may be going to a place we haven't been before and understanding and experiencing that. We may be in a new place with the relationship that we have, and we're starting to expand with that. Although this feels much more to me like it's, this is much more like mental or spiritual, maybe a combination of both. Understanding new things, maybe we are coming across some kind of new thing that we're learning that impacts our spirit at a deep level. So some kind of expansion coming in for us, Scorpios, on Thursday. Sagittarius, you're hoping for something good? I think it's coming. You guys feel pretty happy. You and Leos are like the happiest feeling people tomorrow so far. Sagittarius. Okay, this is very specific and it's only going to apply to some people, but it's coming through, so I need to pass it on. Some of you are going to be hearing some news about cancer, as in the disease cancer, not the sign cancer, on Thursday. And this news is going to make you happy. So this doesn't have to be about you. I feel like for some of you, this news might be about you. You might have had some testing done and you're waiting to see and you're going to hear back that no, you don't have cancer. For others of you, this may be about somebody who is in your life that maybe they have been dealing with cancer, and maybe they're finding out that whatever it is that they've been doing to deal with the cancer has been successful and it's now in remission or something along those lines. So that's a pretty specific one, Sagittarius. I really don't want to leave with just that super specific of a message because I know it's only going to apply to a handful of you. So let me see what else I can find out here. The more general message is that a lot of you will be getting medical news, not necessarily about cancer. That will be good. For some of you, actually, this even has to do with your eyesight. All right, let's look at Capricorn for Thursday the 9th. Capricorn, Capricorn. I feel like you guys are, there's a combination of feelings that I'm getting here. I feel like you guys on Thursday are doing some nesting. And when I say nesting, I mean like making your home a more comfortable place to be for yourself or for company. And I also feel like you're holing up in shelter. Okay, so there's those two things. You're coming into a sheltered place and you're also nesting that place. So it's all kind of coming in together. But Capricorns, part of this is the whole coming into shelter part, to me, feels like it's emotional. Like you guys may have felt like you have made yourselves too emotionally vulnerable in some particular situation lately. And so now you're kind of retreating back into the shell of, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be that vulnerable again. I'm not going to give anybody a chance to be able to have that kind of information about me or have that kind of moment with me, because it can be turned around and not feel good. So that's part of the reason why I feel like you're holding up in some kind of shelter. I also feel like you're doing what you can to make it more comfortable in an emotional level, because when we do that, there is a little bit of loneliness. So you may be doing things to kind of put a salve on that loneliness. You may be, as you're holding up for shelter, you may be um, putting your energies and effort into work or video games where you don't have to really think so much about real life. You can think about the virtual world or something like that. I'm not really feeling a whole lot of altered states of consciousness like drinking or like drugs would bring on. So I feel like this is just something that you're working on emotionally. And then for some of you, this is much more physical. This is buying new curtains, getting new couch cushions, maybe getting new furniture, sprucing up home and making it more comfortable and more happiness making for you. So it's going to manifest in different ways for different ones of you, Capricorn. Some of you, it will be more of the emotional seeking shelter and trying to make it comfortable. And for others of you, it's going to be just much more physical and tangible. You're a hopeless romantic, huh? You know, when people call themselves hopeless romantics, it really doesn't mean they're hopeless romantics. It means that they are hopeful all the time, whether it's actually um, a logical thing to be or not. Aquarius for Thursday the 9th. Remind me later on, though, Lemuel, in case I forget. Aquarius. What I'm hearing is we have some fun coming in for you. So I am not Aquarius. Spirit is not talking to me. This is Spirit talking to Aquarius. So there's something going on tomorrow that's going to be fun. I also feel like it's unplanned, which you guys, from my experience, don't plan that much anyway. But I think it's going to be not only unplanned, maybe I should say it's going to be a surprise even to you Aquarians. So some kind of fun surprise tomorrow, Aquarius. What does this have to do with? I think this has to do with celebrations. It definitely has to do with people. It's not so much about work or going out to the mailbox and there's a check in your mailbox or something like that. This has to do with people and celebrations, I think, Aquarius. Pisces, Thursday the 9th. What do we have for you? La da 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 da. Pisces, I just feel you guys like, I'm not even getting a vision for you today, but I have this feeling of like in my head, like this round and round and round and round. So we know what that means, right? You guys are going to be going round and round and round and round in your head on Thursday. There's definitely something that you're thinking about. You're trying to figure it out, trying to look at it from all angles. And every time you do it, it brings you back to square one where you're still really confused. By the way, Pisces, just saying, that is the ideal time to get a reading from Amista. Get some clarity, help you be able to look at this with a different perspective, a spiritual perspective instead of a human perspective. So you're kind of getting the big picture as you're looking at this instead of going around in circles. All right. So just a suggestion, just because I love to do readings, you know, you're going to get a little bit of that here and there on these videos. Okay, so that is all of our messages for tomorrow. Hopeful all the time. Well, a lot of people say that, Lamiel. I just think it's ironic that we say it that way. Good morning, Marcia. I still owe you an email, honey. The problem is your email came in while I was still asleep, so I was in my bed. I looked at the phone. I went, yep, I need to answer that later on. I put the phone down, and then I went on with my day, and I forgot all about email. So I'm going to try. I've got a list of stuff I have to do today. You are on the list, my dear, so I will be returning that email to you. And I do apologize for taking some time with that. Okay, so we have messages done. It's time to get on with Reiki. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to set the intention for whatever is going to benefit each of you most, whether you're here or whether you come back later. You can receive the Reiki either way just as well. And we're just going to do 5 minutes, which is a super short micro session. If you want a full session, get a hold of me. They're amazing, by the way. And let me go ahead and just get that started. If you want to adjust the intention for yourself to something that you would rather have the energy work on specifically, then please go ahead and feel free to do that. If we were actually doing a personal session, I would talk to you about what intention you actually wanted to set before we start sending the Reiki, and then I would be sending that energy in agreement with you for whatever your intention was. But since I don't have the luxury of being able to just hammer it all out with all of you, we're doing whatever will benefit you the most, and you can make adjustments. I'm hearing some of you ask, what is Reiki good for? I know you haven't typed it in there, but you're thinking it. So Reiki is primarily thought of as being really good for medical situations. I've seen some really pretty serious medical situations be improved dramatically by Reiki. It's also good for the not so serious ones. And then also I've seen Reiki work really well with relationship situations and bring those into a good place whenever they might be faltering a little bit. And I've seen Reiki work really well in financial situations, mental and emotional situations. To be honest with you, I haven't seen too many situations that Reiki can't help. So whatever you want to set the intention for, whatever it is that you feel like you could use a little extra help from higher sources, that would be a great thing to set your intention for. Get a teaching job at the job fair next week. That's a great intention. And Candace, I would like to tell you that this is just 5 minutes. This will actually definitely help you get towards that goal. That would be something I would love to actually do a session for you on. And the first session, the first Reiki session that you get with me doesn't cost anything because I think everybody should experience Reiki at some point in their lives. And then if you want more after that, then we can always talk about finances at that point. But if you would like to schedule a Reiki session with me, just get a hold of me. Okay, Lamiel. Let's back up a little bit and talk about your intention. So, honey, we're doing Reiki on you. On you. Now, if you want to do Reiki on your relationship with somebody else, you can set that intention for healing in that relationship. But I would not try to tell the Reiki how to do that. Because really, first of all, we don't have permission to do Reiki on him for any particular thing, for him to apologize or not apologize or whatever. So we can only do Reiki on the relationship because you are in that relationship. So we can do the relationship for the relationship to improve, but I wouldn't put it on any specific box around him. And then just wait and see what the Reiki does. How about that? And actually, really, I mean, we can do it for that relationship, or we can do that you have better relationships with romantic partners in general. That also seems to have really dramatic effects as well. Well, we are only doing it for things that you are involved with. So we're doing it for you. If you are officially in a relationship with this person, we can do it on that relationship with this person. So it will affect the things that are common to both of you. It would be kind of like um, if you think about a relationship like a house, if you think about a house, each person in the house usually will have a bedroom. Like all the kids will have a bedroom, the parents will have a bedroom, but everybody shares the living room. Everybody shares the kitchen. Everybody pretty much shares the yard or the patio if there's a patio. So in relationships, there are things that are yours, there are things that are the other person's, and then there are the common areas. So this is going to affect the common areas, and because you're the requester of the Reiki, and it will also affect you. Now, having said that, I did do Reiki for an extended period. This was several sessions for a friend of mine who had been engaged to a guy she had been dating for 3 years. The engagement had completely fallen apart. They were no longer engaged. And so I told her, I said, I think really we should do Reiki for you to have better relationships in general rather than for this particular relationship. And what'll happen is either this guy will step up to the plate and show back up, or he'll disappear and somebody else better will come in. So we did that Reiki for her, and let's see, I think we did Reiki for 4 or 5 months for relationship for her. About 8 months after, and we did Reiki like once a week. She's like me, she loves Reiki. And there was progress all the way along. After 8 months, they ended up getting married on Valentine's Day. So that's one way that it can work out. The other way is that, the other person doesn't step up to the plate. The other person just is not a good fit for you or whatever. And somebody else who is a better fit for you, who you enjoy more, actually shows up. That's the other way that that can work. So we've done 5 minutes of Reiki. I've been blabbering the whole time. It's your turn, guys. What kind of questions do you have? Lamille wants to know what is coming up in his love life. I'm going to look what's coming up for you and this specific person, Lamille. I'm not going to look with a wide open window just because I know that you're very interested in this specific person. And we're just going to look at just for the next few weeks for you and this other guy. Right? The results are pretty amazing. And with the Reiki, like I always tell people, you know, you always want to keep doing the Reiki to keep making progress in something that's more long term, but you also want to do it at a rate that, you know, you can afford, that's not going to kill your pocketbook. So some people get Reiki once a week, some people have it once a month. I have some clients that get Reiki once every couple of months, you know, but as long as you're making progress forward, that's the important thing. Okay, let's take a peek at Lamiel's love life over the next few weeks with Mr. So-and-so. I don't know his name, but... Okay, well, the first thing that shows up is really not a big surprise. We've got Three of Pentacles in reverse, just means you guys are not really on the same page and working very well together at the moment. I do think part of you guys' problem is communication because, Lamiel, it looks to me like you guys are not really truthful with each other about who you actually are and what you actually want. You guys are still on that best foot forward type of mode, at least in some areas of your relationship. I feel like even if your relationship is a little older than where you should be on best foot forward, there's still something that, you know, one or both of you is not really being completely truthful with the other one about, you know, like if there's somebody that has a shopping addiction, for instance, it might be that one of you is not telling the other, yeah, that $50 I went for, you know, the newest pair of shoes or whatever. I mean, everybody has different budgets. You guys fill in the right amount. But anyway, you know, there's something going on where you guys are not really revealing your whole selves to each other. And that's part of the problem here is because by not revealing your whole selves to each other, you're not giving the other one a chance to really understand you and get you and have compassion for you. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that that would happen by revealing your whole true self, but it's much more likely if you reveal than if you don't. And then the other thing that I have coming up is you guys, I think you are going to be working on moving forward, but I don't see this during the next few weeks so far as being something that really makes you happy. I am feeling there's a little bit of a bumpy ride there, some ups and some downs and some false starts and stuff like that. So this is something that actually, the way the next few weeks look, Lemuel, I would love to do a reading for you. But that's just me. I love to read. Let's see. Candace Ferguson, will you get a job at the job fair? I'm hearing that you won't get a job at the job fair, but you will get some offers and some good leads that will lead to a job. But I don't think you'll actually get the offer at the fair itself. Will you go into something other than teaching? Excuse me. What you end up with is going to be a little different than what you've been doing before or traditional teaching. There's going to be a little bit of a twist on it. I'm not exactly sure what that means. What would be a twist on teaching? I don't know if that's tutoring. I don't know if that's counseling instead. I don't know if that's teaching a different grade level than what you were looking for. I don't know exactly what that would be, but it comes up to me that it will be teaching, but it's going to be teaching with a different twist than what you have in mind right now, my dear. He's an alcoholic. That's really rough. That's really rough. Because until he can shake that, he can never really be his true self. You know, a lot of alcoholics are really ashamed of their drinking. They're really ashamed of their behavior while they're drinking. A lot of them really want to quit drinking, but they're kind of in over their heads. Gotcha, Candace. Hoo-wee. Lamiel, I'm just thinking about your situation. Lamiel, I do have an addiction relief service if he wants to quit. that he could take advantage of. It's actually pretty affordable. Um, it's not like the whole answer to an addiction, but what it does is it makes it a lot easier to move past the addiction because I basically remove energy around the person that supports the addiction. So where there's a lot of times there's also that component of habit when it comes to addiction. You know, he's going to have to do what it takes to walk away from whenever that he feels that habitual start kicking in. He's going to have to do some things to distract himself and get himself focused on some other things as well. But this will help him a whole lot if he really does want to quit and he feels like he just needs an extra boost, because this is what this is an extra boost. I know. My friend that I've known since I was 7, her dad died as an alcoholic. It's really tragic because if people don't clean up, the results are death, just like any other disease. Oh, gotcha, Pixie. Gotcha. Right. Right. It's really easy to get in over your head with that stuff. Career and finances for Fatima Layla. And then, oh my God, I'm like 6 minutes over. Hang on. Let me do this one and then I'm going to have to get out of here, guys. I'm supposed to be actually doing a private reading this moment. Somebody's going to be wondering why I'm not calling her yet. She knows me. I'm normally very punctual with her. Career and finances for Miss Layla. We're looking at the next 3 months, honey. So what we've got here, I see you really doing some things to protect the assets that you have as far as career and finances at the moment. And this is going to be very general, so you're going to have to kind of put it into the boxes that it fits in for you. So protecting assets, this can be going to school. This can be, you know, not giving the competition undue information, stuff like that. I see there's something about career and finances that you're really determined to hold on to once we get into about 2 months from now. And this is something that I feel like it's actually holding you back if you keep holding on to this. So if you could let it go, then the door gets to open to you for something even better. So that's just little advice there. You can do with that whatever you want. And then if you keep holding on to that, I do see once you get into month 3, there is something coming up where there's some conflict. And I'm really feeling like this is inner conflict within yourself about what you really want to be doing about your career and finances. Are you in the right place? Is there something that you would like to do more? Is this fulfilling to you? Should you take that leap and do something more fulfilling? So you're going to be doing a lot of soul searching once you get into 3 months from now. Awesome, Lemuel. I would be happy to hear from you, honey. Well, you know what? It's only shameful because our society puts shame on it. It's a disease just like any other disease. I mean, you would not tell somebody who is autistic, oh, your behavior is shameful. But that's what we do to alcoholics and drug abusers all the time. And even the name drug abusers. What kind of stigma is that? It doesn't give them any credit for the idea that maybe they're in over their heads. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping me company here. I'm going to take off now and get on to the next thing. Everybody have a fantastic day, and I imagine I will see you tomorrow. Lemuel, I'll be looking forward to hearing from you, honey.